Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I am wAFF, and today we're going to be looking at the new Cyberpunk Night City Wire Episode 2. Cyberpunk 2077 is by far my most anticipated game, I think, of the year. I've been so excited for it. If you haven't seen my previous videos, then I'm basically already a massive fanboy, and I haven't even played it yet. So far, what we've seen of Cyberpunk looks absolutely sick. The graphics, the whole world, the gameplay, the fact that it's CDPROJEKTRED who's creating this massive RPG game based on what The Witcher did. I'm pretty sure this game is going to probably be one of the best games that we've seen in this decade. I know that that's a really big statement to put out there, but I mean, come on, look at the game and the developers. It's gonna be sick. Look at it. It's gonna be sick. So they've just released the new Night City Wire Episode 2, and I'm really excited to see this. I am a little bit delayed putting this video out. I have been really busy this week with other things. I've had a gig, I've been away, so unfortunately I'm doing this a little bit later than I wished. But yeah, let's just check it out. I'm really excited. The last episode was great and giving you a bit more of an insight into the details of the gameplay and the world. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what this episode brings to the table.
You don't believe in no fate. Every day digging the grave. Stepping up here with the snakes. City of dreams, city of...
Here we go. Can't wait, actually.
Hello and welcome to episode 2 of Night City Wire. This is the show from us at CDPROJEKTRED, where we talk about all things Cyberpunk 2077. In today's episode, we're going to be deep diving into Life Paths and showing you a brand new gameplay video, as well as having a chat to Philip from our quest team.
Hello, Philip.
Then we're going behind the scenes and taking a look at how Refused are bringing the band Samurai to life. And then we're showing you another new gameplay video and having a chat to Pavel, our senior gameplay designer, about just some of the tools of destruction that will be at your disposal in Night City. So let's get started. Street Kid, Nomad, or Corpo? Which will you pick first?
Oh, I don't know. I like the idea of being a street kid, but then I haven't seen Nomad yet, I don't think. Have I? Corpo looks pretty cool, actually. Oh, is this like the menu screen then, or where you get to?
Who do we have here? Grew up in Haywood. Whole street was my family. Neighbors helped each other out. Thought nothing of it.
I am pleased to see you have not forgotten your roots.
Born here, live here, die here.
Childhood memories. Hopping buildings, running away from badges. Iron tasted blood from a split lip.
Motherfucker.
Got everybody fighting for a slice of the street.
Get the fuck out of Vista.
If you keep getting jumped, you find some stronger choosers.
Do you want to spend the rest of your days blasting scabs? Or become a legend overnight?
We have arrived. The Major.
Ready to get your cherry popped? Yeah, come
Music
on.
cool. See, that looks so sick. It looks like a next-gen game, this.
Childhood.
Can't believe it's not. Look at it.
Racing my bobber for the first time through the hills. Oh, and first kiss in the middle of a synth cornfield.
We nomads choose who to make our family. A choice forges strong bonds and a higher duty that stands solid as an old oak.
My family's in pieces. That's why I'm headed for Night City.
Makes you an outcast among outcasts.
Miss this, you know? Camaraderie.
I know. I saw it in your heart the first time we met. You know what I always liked about nomads? Your taste, no, hunger for freedom. Not easy to come by in Night City. Corp's got their grubby claws and everything.
Sick. I love that. Oh, it's gonna be hard to choose.
Have those reports you asked for.
They were supposed to be ready yesterday.
The world's going to tear us apart when the word gets around.
The world's never going to find out.
If I go down, you're going down with me. No! I'm not fucking joking!
This isn't
He's not fucking joking.
But no way you're fucked, right? You're the one who fixes other
Nice
shit.
If you're working Arasaka counter intel, you're always fucked.
Today, they got you to zero somebody. Tomorrow, they'll get somebody else to zero you.
What's the rules, Jack? Want to be top? Gotta have some skin in the game.
Yeah, but you're not on top. Saburo Arasaka is. And you're the pendejo who keeps him there. Work for yourself, live for yourself. That's the only way.
I don't know who I want to be. It's gonna be a hard decision. That they all look so good. November the 19th.
Philip, it is so good to see you again. It's actually been a while since I've had a chance to interview you about Cyberpunk. So I think for today, we'll start with a question that everybody wants to know. How does the path you pick affect your time in Night City?
It actually affects your time quite a lot throughout the whole game, but let's start at the beginning, because basically our game has 3 different starts depending on your life path. As an example, if you choose the street kid life path, you have lived most of your time in Night City. You know the streets, you know the gangs, you know the slang, you kind of know what's going on in the, let's say, lower life aspects of the city, which can of course give you lots of good opportunities also later on in the game.
Look at his character model.
But if you start as a nomad, you actually used to be part of a nomad clan and a nomad family, because nomads that roam the deserts around Night City, that we call the Badlands, actually value their family above anything. But for one reason or another, you actually left that family behind, and now the beginning of the game for you will actually be how to get into Night City and how to make a new life there.
I like that.
Then you can also choose to actually be a corpo and choose the corporate life path. And that basically means that you're not at home in the streets of Night City or in the deserts of the Badlands, but actually inside a boardroom, because you rose the corporate ladder of the Arasaka Corporation.
It looks so
which
good.
Basically gives you the ability to sometimes, read between the lines, read people when they're trying to do business, which of course can give you many nice opportunities later on.
So this isn't just about the start of the game. Can you maybe help people understand how this translates into the gameplay?
Yeah. So the thing is, we make Cyberpunk a real RPG, and part of that is that you can play your character from the start to the end. And of course, we have these life paths affecting the beginning of the game, but we wanted to make it so you have your life path opportunities throughout the whole game until the game is over. And as an example, we do that by giving you additional options in dialogues. So I can give you one specific example. And this is a mission where you have to steal a flathead robot from the Maelstrom gang. Basically, those Maelstromers stole that flathead before from a corporate transport. And the owner of that corporate transport, Meredith Stout, wants you to do something else. And this is an optional objective. And even within that objective, we want to give you some options. So as an example, if you have a corporate life path, you basically know what Meredith Stout is really about. You can read between the lines, and you can get some additional options that maybe actually later enable you to do a completely different thing with the Maelstrom gang. And if you're a nomad, you know exactly some more details about how these Maelstromers would have even been able to steal a robot like that from Meredith Stout, who's part of the very powerful Militech Corporation.
That's such a cool
As a street kid,
thing.
we as an example don't give you a specific new dialogue option in that dialogue, because as a street kid, you do not have a lot of experience dealing with higher up people like Meredith Stout. But we want to give you additional options that fit your life path very well. So later when you actually talk to the Maelstrom gang, one member of the gang offers you some illegal substance, but as a street kid, you actually know what this is about. You can talk some shop with him, and that might actually make that character like you a little bit more.
Sick.
So Philip, I do have a couple of extra questions for you based on the video we just saw. And the first is about nomads. So the nomad life path, this starts in a place called the Badlands. Is this somewhere you get to visit even if you don't pick nomad to start with?
Yes, absolutely. So the thing is, Night City is surrounded by this huge landscape that we call the Badlands. And you can go there whenever you want. So as an example, if you actually do play the Nomad life path at the start and you are in the Badlands, you can even see Night City on the horizon.
Fucking hell, looks
and
well good.
We want to give you the option later in the game, if you want, you can just take your car and drive out of the city. You can go there whenever you want. The thing is, you might not want to, because the Badlands can be a pretty dangerous place at first, because time has not been very kind to the Badlands. There have been many wars in the past, there's global warming, so most people that do live out there don't really have another choice about it, or are nomads that love this life and are all about it and are very battle-hardened. We, of course, also want to tell their stories, because we want to tell many, many different stories throughout the cyberpunk genre, which means that you will also find missions that lead you out in the Badlands or where you deal with the people living there.
So Philip, can you tell us a little bit more about the character Padre? He's the guy we see giving his business card to Street Kid V in the video. Who is this man?
Yeah, so Padre is actually one of the fixers in Night City. And fixers are people that work as intermediaries. So if someone who has a lot of money needs a problem solved, they go to a fixer. And a fixer then finds people who can solve that problem. And these people are people like you, V, cyberpunks. Fixers are very territorial. So Padre specifically works from Haywood, which is where you as a street kid grew up in, so you already know him. You might have already seen another one of our fixers, who is called Dexter Deshawn, and he works in a different part of the city. So specifically Padre, you might know him as a street kid, but even if you played other life paths, you might sooner or later meet him because he's operating in Haywood, which is a pretty big place with many good jobs. So if you want to make some cash there, you will sooner or later deal with Padre.
Philip, thank you so much for joining us. Now, on my first playthrough, pretty sure I'm going to be picking Nomad, but for those watching, we would love to know what you'll be picking. So have a think about it and send us a tweet.
Oh, it's hard.
Don't forget that
Probably
later in
Street
this
Kid.
episode, we're going to be showing you another new gameplay video
Sick.
and having a chat to Pavel, our senior gameplay designer, about just some of the tools of destruction that will be at your disposal in Night City. But before that, let's talk about music, because music plays a huge part in bringing Night City to life. Now, in future episodes, we're going to talk about things like radio stations and even the original score. But today, we're going to take a look behind the scenes at how Refused to bringing Johnny Silverhand's band Samurai to life.
I wouldn't write these lyrics for myself. So it's kind of interesting to get into like the mindset of who is this character and what would they write about, or what's their agenda.
So this is going to be the
it's
music.
Interesting to try to like catch a language
Here he
that's
is.
his, and try to
Johnny
catch a language
Silverhand's
that's, like,
band
part of his
Samurai.
game.
As if we get Keanu Reeves as a character. It's fucking well good. The game's already sick, and we have Keanu Reeves as a character.
There is a reason why we're here.
I thought that was graphics then.
It was Piotr maybe who was a fan of the band.
He knew Refused and he knew my voice, and he said, oh, that's a perfect voice for Johnny.
And that they wanted, I guess, a sound that was a bit contemporary from when Johnny's supposed to have had the band, because he's sort of like an anti-establishment kind of guy.
Gonna drag a corporal rat on stage, make him kneel, douse him with gas, then light him up.
So of course there are things that you can relate to, and like just like this outcast and this rebel that's fighting against like the corporals, and that's definitely something that's been a part of my life and a part of Refused life.
We came out of the punk rock scene of northern Sweden.
He's like the future version of us. You know? So I think it makes sense. I think it totally makes sense for us to be here making these songs about him or for him. You know? So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. No trills. But yeah, but like wide vibrato.
And then, I mean, just sort of build,
yeah,
slowly build. So
It's so cool that they're gonna have like just a
We
whole.
don't have a different mode than
I'll tell you in a minute.
all in. So we really work on these songs.
No, I'm gonna pause it. It's so cool that that they've gone so far the way to kind of get a new band to come in. Well, not a new band, but get a band to come in and to create the music that's gonna be Samurai in the game. The band Samurai, which is Johnny Silverhand, Keanu Reeves' band in the game. So I can imagine we're going to get a lot of music and songs from the band Samurai. I just think it's so cool. I feel like there's just so many levels to this game, so many layers and so many like details that are just going to be like outstanding and impressive. So yeah, you know, thought I'd share that. Let's continue.
It is possible. Then they're not actually our songs.
It's interesting as a musician to play another musician, because that's essentially what we're doing. I mean, we're not here as Refused, we're here as Samurai. And I'm here with Johnny Silverhand, you know, so it's like the voice we're representing here is someone else.
We'll never fade away!
It's been a mind fuck.
I can't link that voice to Keanu Reeves though. You know what I mean? I can't like picture or I can't hear that voice linked to Keanu Reeves' voice, you know what I mean? But we'll see when the game comes out.
I mean, the shouting in itself is just like second nature to me, because I've been doing this for a very long time. But then when someone comes in and says,
I'm happy with everything except for Azalin. Again, it's Azza. Azza. Okay.
The shouting's great, but think of that accent, or think of that like enunciation. It's a bit weird because it's a very different way of singing when you're screaming like that, and it's hard to sort of
Swallowing some syllables there.
adjust your accent.
Oh yeah, just try it again.
So it's been a bit kind of frustrating.
It wasn't horrible, but it wasn't great.
But I mean, I get it. I mean, we have to maintain the illusion that this character that's a character of the game also is
Graphics
is
are
me
fucking mint.
when I'm
Look at
seeing
that.
it. So it makes sense. But yeah, it's a bit different to have someone telling you exactly how to enunciate things, because I'm not used to, usually people are just like give me a thumbs up, and then like, you know, you think the things like the rhythm, and you think about the pitch, and you think about all these things, but then someone comes in and like, that word sounded weird. I'm like, what? No, that's how I sing. But so it's been a very yeah, a bit painful.
He hated it.
At times.
Basically hated it.
But it's alright.
He got paid shitloads.
Chipping in! Roll the bones, I'm chipping in! Belt that cone, I'm chipping in! Mayhem clowns!
Music sounds
It's
sick.
a very interesting thing to be part of. As a person that's not a gamer, I don't think I fully understand the impact that this might have. If people like these songs and if people are excited, then that's going to be great. I mean, we are spending a lot of times trying to get this right, trying to get it to sound like, you know, like Samurai would sound, you know. So it's quite interesting. It's a very different way of making music, actually.
Cool. What a sick like project to be taken on for. Being abandoned, like, right, we want you to
You
play
can
this
already
band
find
in a
3
game.
Samurai tracks available on streaming services: Chippin' In, Never Fade Away, and The Ballad of Buck Ravers. But we're excited to announce a 4th new song called A Like Supreme, which is coming to streaming services today. That means you can check it out once the show is over. Don't forget that if you're tuning in late, or if you just want to watch anything again, we will be uploading everything to our channel soon. Next up, Pavel and I are going to introduce you to some creative ways that you can solve problems in Night City.
Bring it on. Bring it on. The music sounds so cool with everything I've heard so far.
AV, I have a job for you. A client of mine is making an arms deal. He needs protection. It could get hot, very hot. The gun dealers are Maelstrom. Alas, nothing ever transpires as planned with them. You better gear up for this.
Here we go. Looks so good. all these weapons you can choose from. The song's really cool for like this. That is so cool. The gun looks so good. What? That song was sick.
Are you willing?
Yeah, I'm in.
So many different guns then to choose from. That's probably not even like, I mean, I don't know how many that is, but...
Pavel, thank you so much for joining me. Now, there was an awful lot in that video, right? Because it's more than just guns.
Absolutely. We have melee weapons, we have ranged weapons, we have cyberware, we have offensive cyberware, defensive cyberware, armor. We could talk for hours and hours about this stuff.
I think just for today's episode, we should keep it simple and let's just talk about guns. Can you tell us the different types of guns that will be in the game?
So we have three distinct types of guns in our game. We have power weapons, we have tech weapons, and we have smart weapons. Now, power weapons are the most similar to contemporary weapons. One thing they can do, which normal weapons cannot, is ricochet bullets off of surfaces. So you can hit somebody hiding behind cover or hiding behind a wall. Now, tech weapons, on the other hand, use electromagnetic power to propel a fully metal projectile to extreme velocities. What that allows them to do is to punch through cover or punch through walls to hit somebody who's not even aware that you're there. Smart weapons use guided missile technology to actually track targets in real time. So you can hit somebody who's dodging, running away from you, or you can hit somebody who's hiding behind cover.
So Pavel, Cyberpunk doesn't just contain FPS elements, right? It's also a fully fledged RPG. So can you tell us how you guys approached introducing those RPG elements into gunplay?
So I can tell you one thing, Holly, it wasn't easy to merge those two elements together. Now, we've spent a considerable amount of time merging the RPG and FPP side of our game. What the player will experience is that V changes from a small-time mercenary to a legend in the world of Night City. V becomes more and more proficient in using weapons as the game progresses. So they will see that reload times become shorter, the accuracy of your weapons grows, you will have faster aiming time, you will move faster with your weapons. Everything becomes more in your control, and that gives you more opportunities to defeat the biggest encounters that we've designed for you.
So I have prepared a few extra questions for you, Pavel, if you're feeling up to it.
Of course.
Okay, well the first is going to be, how do you find more weapons in Night City? Like, where will players be looking for them?
So I expect the players to look everywhere for new and exciting weapons. You can, of course, buy weapons at vendor shops, and they will house an entire catalog of weaponry that you can get. However, the best weapons that you can find will be taken from enemies or loot caches that we have everywhere in Night City. The weapons rarities range from common through uncommon up to rare and then legendary. And as they go in rarity, they actually climb in power. However, legendary weapons are very specific in such a way that they possess unique abilities that you will find on no other weapons in the game.
That's really cool.
The players will actually need to make some tough choices to find some legendary weapons, because maybe they need to choose whether to kill a person who holds the legendary weapons that they want, or to spare them because they like them as a character.
So next question, let's talk about weapon modifications.
So much I want to say.
What mods can people give to their weapons in Night City?
So we have two types of modifications in the game. One of them would be modifications that we call attachments. So these would be scopes and silencers, and you can see them actually being attached to your weapon as you're playing the game. They give you statistics advantage, and they give you more opportunities in gameplay. The other part of mods would be software mods. Now, these are basically small chips that you install in your weapon, and they actually change the statistics of the gun. They can give you damage, they can give you accuracy, or they can give you more fire rate. Some of those mods actually change the gunplay on a more fundamental level, so they can give you non-lethal rounds, biochemical rounds, to tear through that armor even faster.
So I suppose for my final question, why don't you tell us about your favorite weapon then? Which is your favorite weapon so far in Night City?
Oh, there are so many weapons that it's hard to choose just one, but I can mention some manufacturers with their weapons that I absolutely adore. The first manufacturer would be Tsunami Defense Systems, who produces the sniper rifle Nekomata. That's a tech sniper rifle. That means that it can pierce through walls. So you can actually hit somebody who's hiding behind cover or who doesn't even know you're there. Of course, I also like a close quarters approach. And what that needs is a shotgun. One of the shotguns that we have in the game is Budget Arms Carnage. Now, that thing is cast from pure steel, and it weighs a ton. However, you can cut a person clean in half with it. Another shotgun that I absolutely love, it's for a more refined approach, I would say, is a smart shotgun, Kangtao Zhuo. That thing has 8 barrels, and that means it can track 8 targets independently. Now, killing an entire room was never simpler.
That would be
Pavel,
well
thank
good.
you so much
8 people
for
getting killed at
joining me.
once.
Thank you for having me.
I'm actually pretty interested to see what kind of weapons people discover when they play Cyberpunk for themselves. Before we end episode 2, this is a reminder that those who wish to dive
So
deeper
many
into the lore
things.
can now pick up The World of Cyberpunk 2077. This is a brand new book created in collaboration with Dark Horse Books that will give you an extensive look at what makes Night City tick before jumping into the game this November. That is it for today's episode. Thank you so much for joining us. Don't forget that if you've missed anything or if you just want to watch again, we will be uploading everything to our channels shortly. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll be back with Night City Wire Episode 3 soon.
Yay! November the 18th, I'm 100% getting that on PlayStation 5. Straight up. There is literally just like endless things to talk about after watching that. Like, there's just so many exciting things to look forward to in this game. Like, where do I even begin? First of all, like the different life paths that you can choose: Corpo, Street Kid, and Nomad. I don't even know what I would choose. I think my feeling is that I would just go with Street Kid straight away. I don't know why, I just feel like that would be the choice that I would go with first of all. Then I'd probably do Nomad and then Corpo. But they all look equally interesting, and there must be so much detail and effort into this game, put into this game, that, you know, there's 3 different life paths. They're all gonna have a completely different beginning. I'm sure that they will intertwine with each other some way through it, because I'm sure it's not completely 3 different storylines, but in a way it kind of is, because how they say that each life path has different decisions to be made and different dialogue options, which will then lead to different outcomes. How that if you, for example, you start with Corpo, I don't remember the main woman's name, but you know, you'll get to know about her, so when it comes to certain decisions you'll make for jobs that she will assign you to, you'll be able to understand what's the right thing to choose to be able to please her, I guess, or to be on her side. Or if you wanted to start to come away from Corpo, I think that that's the thing you can do. I think you can start off as a Street Kid and then sort of like blend the lines between each life path. I think that's what you can do. Maybe I'm wrong, but I know that you can choose different dialogue options which will basically change the outcome of your game, and depending on which life path you have will allow you to know what's the right decisions for your life path going ahead and for the future of your character. So I really find that completely intriguing and interesting. Like, I've never seen a game do that as much as this seems it's gonna do. Does that even make sense? As much as this seems it's gonna do. You know what I mean? I've never seen a game do that as well as this game looks like it's gonna do. That still didn't make sense. Fuck it, you know what I mean. I really like the idea of a nomad because you start off in the Badlands, you're an outcast sort of thing, and you can see Night City from afar, and I can imagine starting off a story like that where you're like this guy or a woman, whatever you choose, and you basically, your dream or your plan is to go into Night City and start a new life, but you've never been there yet, and it's like the beginning of that life is going into the world, and whatever that life will become or what lies ahead is just all new to this character. So I really do like the idea of a nomad, come to think of it. I don't know. I really don't know what I would choose, but yeah, I mean, at least there's 3 different life paths. It's gonna be replayable at least 3 times, and I've never really done that with a game, and this game shows me that I would probably do that. I would probably replay it again and again to get the different storylines and the different experiences as the different, what are they called again? Life paths, that's it. Fucking hell. There's loads of times I've said that, it was just too much to remember. All the character designs are just so well detailed. Like, all the characters stand out so much. There was so many different characters in there. I don't know the names to pretty much any of them, but they're here on the screen now. And these characters, they just, look at the detail on them. Look at the outfits that they're wearing, the clothing, like the design of the people. They're so different, and they're really futuristic, or they really stand out as a cool character. And I'm so intrigued to kind of get to meet these characters and, I don't know, just see what they're all about and see how they play out. It's just so interesting and exciting. I really can't wait for this game. And then going into the music, I thought it was really cool to see behind the scenes and who the band is that's going to be playing Samurai. The music sounded great throughout all of this, whether it was the band music or the background music or even just the futuristic sort of theme music. Everything sounds really, really cool. I can't wait to hear what the music sounds like when you're playing the game. But this band, I don't know the name, I can't remember the name of this band, but the band's playing Samurai, which is Johnny Silverhand's band in the game, which is Keanu Reeves' character. Initially, the lead singer of this band's voice didn't kind of match up to what I would expect to hear from Keanu Reeves' character, but I'm sure it's all going to sound perfectly fine. These game developers know exactly what they're doing, so I have no doubt it's going to sound perfect. The singing and the music in the band sounded great from what we've heard, and I also think it's going to be quite cool. I imagine you'll be able to go to Johnny Silverhand's gig and be able to listen to him play, but it looked like actually that maybe we get to play as Johnny Silverhand, so maybe we get to perform on stage with some of these songs. I don't know, but it definitely looks like we're on stage at one point, and it definitely looks like we're playing as Johnny Silverhand at some point, or maybe it's just a throwback, like a cutscene to him. But either way, I'm really interested to see what this band Samurai is all about and the story behind that, the story behind Johnny Silverhand and why he plays a lead role in the main narrative of the game of Cyberpunk. I know that they have said that Johnny Silverhand is going to be alongside you as probably one of the main characters throughout Cyberpunk. I know that CDPROJEKTRED have actually said that Johnny Silverhand is pretty much the second main character in the game. He will be there throughout the whole game with you. I think he's got the second most dialogue. So it'll be interesting to see why he's so involved in your life. And yeah, I'm just really interested to seeing that. I just love the fact we've got Keanu Reeves as a gameplay character. It's amazing. Keanu Reeves is smashing it at the minute, and he's just an amazing guy. I love him. He's one of my favorites. And just to see him smashing life at the moment and then becoming this character in Cyberpunk, I think it's great. So now we come to the guns. The guns look unbelievable. Look how many guns there are. There is just a shit ton of different guns, attachments. You can see that there's different melee options. There's different scopes. There's so many different attachments. And you have your katana sword. It's just, there's so many options here. And I don't even think we're seeing probably half of the guns that we can get. If it's a huge RPG game, I imagine that all the way through this game, you're going to be able to pick up and find so many different guns, and you're going to be able to customize the shit out of them, find all different attachments and scopes. I feel like it's going to be completely rich. This world's going to be rich with different guns and variety of guns to be able to find, and different customizable options, whether it's skins or, like I said, attachments or whatever. I just feel like this game's going to have so much of it that it's never going to get boring. You know how like Borderlands 3 just had like unlimited different guns? I know it kind of copied some of them, but they all had a different look or different feel, or you know, there was just tons. Like I think there was like billions of options. I don't know how many there were exactly, but I think they said there was billions of different guns. But I don't imagine there's going to be that many, but still I do think there's going to be a shitload of different loot that we can get, and it's going to progress and get a lot more throughout the game. Like they said, you can have it basically from, I think they said common, uncommon, rare, epic and legendary, but that could just be Warzone. They did say something like that, but maybe the names are not right. They definitely said legendary though, so you know, there's different tiers of different guns, which is great to know. And the fact that this actually really excited me. You can come across characters and they might possess a legendary gun, and this gun you want. You maybe see it on this guy, you're talking to a character, you're in his house or you're in his warehouse or his car or whatever it may be, and you can see that he has this sick gun and you just want it. And maybe he doesn't even talk about the gun or explain what the gun is, but maybe it's just there and you can see that this gun is somewhere around this guy and you want it. And then you have the choice whether if you want to kill the guy, you can take his gun, or maybe you really like this character so much that you decide that you want to keep him around, you want to spend more time with him, he's interesting or she's interesting, and you know, the characters that you like to spend time with, so you don't want to kill them, but you also really want the gun. And to have that option that you can choose whatever you want to do in that moment, I think that's amazing. Because, hang on, if you can basically choose to kill them or not, you have that freedom to be able to do that. Then that means, like, what happens if you meet a character that has some missions for you, like a side mission? You meet a character in the street, they have got some side missions for you to do. If you can kill them, if you choose to or not, I mean, does that basically take away the side missions? Will it allow you to do that with like actual important characters? I highly doubt it. I don't think that you're going to be able to kill off important characters, but you can clearly do it to some characters. They've already said you have that option. It's interesting and exciting either way. Yeah, I really thought that was a really cool thing. The different variety of these guns are really cool. Like the different variety of all the gunfire and how your bullets can basically penetrate through walls. You can choose guns that basically have bullets that bend round corners. That even that gun that had like, I think it was a shotgun, it has like 8 rounds or 8 bullets, and you can basically target 8 people at once and press fire at once, and it will basically, all the bullets will kill everyone in the room, like up to 8 people. So you can basically take out a room with one shot, which is cool. I don't know if I like the idea of that too much because it's going to make it a bit too easy. And this is one thing I do feel about these bullets, that they can just bend around corners, and you know, you can easily just target someone without even getting a headshot or anything. You can just see them in the game, get the holographic target onto them, press fire, and all the bullets just shoot up and bend round and then kill the person easily. And I do like it, but I'm also like, it could be a little bit too easy if you're doing that all the time. But at least you have the option to not do that. And that is what's good about these games, is just giving you so many different options and not making you have to stick to one thing. And I just can't wait to play it. This game really does just look like a next generation game. Like, it just looks so good. The graphics look like the best graphics I've probably seen so far. It just does look like the best graphics out there. There's a lot of sick games out at the moment. The Last of Us 2 graphics were really impressive. Ghost of Tsushima graphics were sick. Then there's this, and this looks like it's the best graphics that I've seen. So it does look like a next generation game, and I know that they said there's going to be a free update for next generation consoles if you buy the game on current gen. I think that's what they said. But I think I'm just going to buy the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X both at launch and just get Cyberpunk on probably the PlayStation 5. But I don't know, because the Xbox Series X is meant to be the most powerful console. I don't know what I'm going to buy this on, but I'm more on the side of PlayStation 5 at the moment. Xbox Series X hasn't really been impressive yet. But yeah, it comes out November the 19th, I think it said. I'm going to be having it day one. I'll 100% be streaming this, doing live streams or recording it. But until then, I'm just going to be a little excited fat bastard sat here doing these videos. But anyways, guys, thank you for watching my videos. I hope you enjoyed this one. I will be keeping updated with all Cyberpunk. We'll keep doing the Night City wires when the next episode comes out. That'll be here on my channel as well, so come back and check that. As always, guys, thank you so much for coming to my channel and watching my videos. If you do enjoy watching me say things out of my mouth, please hit the subscribe button, or at least give me a thumbs up and hit the like button. And I will see you next time on wAFFwORLD.